Hey YouTube world, and hey to my Neville Nation. I know you're out there. Welcome to Neville Girl Forever, or welcome back. I'm your host, Neville Girl. And on this channel, we discuss and explore everything Neville Goddard. And I invite you to follow me on my journey of my dream life as it unfolds. And I want to help you support that as your dream life unfolds as well. And along the way, I want to share tips, tricks, and hacks. And so whether you are new to Neville Goddard, hang in there. This will all soon start to click and make sense. Or whether you're more familiar or seasoned with Neville Goddard and are just looking for a journey member or added support, I'm your girl. So because for years, I studied law of attraction hard, and I had some success. I did. But it wasn't, and I got certified on life coach, all those things, but it wasn't until I actually came across Neville Goddard's thank you prayer. I'm probably going to keep mentioning it forever with y'all. When I had results with that, that's when I realized I had to find out more about who this Neville Goddard guy was. And so basically overnight, a lot of things changed. And so I want to help you do that as well. So today I actually want to add a little to my opener, especially for those who are new and are less familiar with Neville. His teachings and lectures were based on the premise that you and God are one. And that the part of you that is God is what he would say is your wonderful imagination. So it's you and God manifesting and using principles of the universe, but it's you and God manifesting together to create the world around you based on your assumptions, which is referring to the law of assumption, and what you create in your imagination. And that's why we mention SATS so much, but it's not the only technique. And we're going to go over so many different, I think, less regarded techniques. I think they all work together beautifully. And what might surprise some of y'all, especially if you've not read Neville's material yet, is that Neville was really, really into the Bible. And we will be reading from his material, especially starting with your faith is your fortune. But that might surprise some. And it surprised me actually as well that Neville was so into the Bible, and he quotes scripture to correlate with all of his teachings. It's amazing. I think he's extraordinary in the way he breaks down the Bible and correlates it to make sense. And I think that also kind of sealed the deal for me as well. I think like many of you, you grew up with Christian principles, and yet you know and you feel also that there's something about the law of attraction. That buzzword, which I found out just law of attraction just basically is quantum physics, like attracts like. So law of assumption is what we're all about here, and working with a law of attraction, but law of assumption. And so I think that's pretty amazing that when I came across Neville and his teachings, that so much of it is supported throughout the Bible. Neville has an amazing way of correlating and all making sense. So it reconciled for me everything between my Christian beliefs and also how the universe works. So like really how God and the universe works. And so I think that's part of the magic of working with and studying Neville Goddard's materials, is because it really makes sense. And it really works. And that's why I'm here. I find it all very exciting. And so I wanted to open with that. And today's going to be kind of short. If I have time, I will actually do another video. But as many of you guys realize, if you've been following along, that there's some changes going on in my world. And I wanted actually to mention my last recording, which starts off like the key to manifesting success, something like that. I am going to keep that video up for a while. The content is really good as far as the information I'm providing. But I was really fatigued when I did that video. Lesson learned, don't do heavy duty squats day that day. And also all the other things related to packing and moving and prepping and all of that. But I wanted to press forward and I was in flow state. But I realized that when I'm really fatigued, the word comes up a lot. That's me overcompensating, right? So that happened. Oops. But I loved that video. And also too, something really kind of, if you happen to watch this video, if anything else, I'm going to go back and retitle it and give a cue for what time frames to look for. But I was having what I felt was maybe some lighting issues. It just felt like it all of a sudden went dark, and I was kind of moving lights around a little bit, trying to not be too crazy about it, because the focus is really on what I want to share with you. But crazy enough, at 14 minutes and about 45 seconds, I had this amazing significant light flash. And it was when I was getting to the topic about being a time bender. So if it happens again when I mention these words, I don't know. It was interesting because there's nothing outside that would actually flash that kind of light based on where I live and what my neighborhood looks like. Nothing could explain that. But I was getting into collapsing time and how Neville's techniques actually help us do that. And what he would say, and I did not mention it in that video, how there's the bridge of incidents. So as we are doing our SATS and doing our creation at night, God, universe, source works together to collapse time and create a bridge of incidents. That's a Neville saying that of how God, universe, source is working to weave that new reality into our life now that we're affecting the subconscious, because we were talking about that early morning or in the evening, just before I go to bed, that's when the doors are wide open for your subconscious to program it or reprogram it. Oh, there we go with another light flash. I don't know what that's all about, but in any case, so that's the perfect time, and why some of Neville's material works so great. He talked about all this before there was really the understanding of quantum physics or quantum mechanics. So anyway, I'm going to keep that video up because I probably will retitle it. And my goal really would be to redo that video again with less sounds, but it's really good. And so since time is a little bit limited right now with my current schedule, I just wanted to give you that update, but it is really good information in there, especially about going to the end. I think that is something that a lot of people haven't gotten to when they understand the SATS, is what it means to go to the end. I define that pretty well, and that's why I may go back and actually redo that video a little bit, but I think it's really good. So I'm keeping it up for now. So today, I wanted to go over kind of a shorter topic, but leave you with some tips, tricks, and hacks. So even if I can't record a whole lot right now, I want to leave y'all with something that you could be working on for a week, 2 months, and see how that works for you. Because with all my background and training with different teachers with law of attraction, I've gleaned a lot of tools, and I believe those tools blended with Neville Goddard's teachings really is what helped me kind of accelerate. And that's why one of my motivations for sharing with you guys. So I was really fatigued on that one, but I just, when I feel like I'm in the flow and I want to share, that's what I did. So let's see. So the hacks. Okay, so here's one of my favorite hacks, and I'm going to share kind of how I do some of my SATs. I switch it up based on how I'm feeling at the time. So we all have different schedules, different days, different energy, right? So I gauge my energy. If I know I'm going to fall asleep right away, I might know that I really can't push through to do a SATS or stay awake, right? So I flip these around a little bit. So hang in there with me on this. So one of the things I really like to do, and I feel like has really accelerated my working with Neville, is that I like to usually actually use like a theta or a delta / a hypnosis or combined hypnosis video first before I, let's say, go to do some subliminals and or SATs. It makes you highly suggestible. So you're already in a suggestible time of day for your subconscious. Adding the theta, especially the delta, but that will knock you out. I promise you on that. It usually does. So if you ever can't sleep very well, find yourself a Delta audio. It's incredible how it will just put you right out. But you're in a super highly suggestible state, especially if you have a Delta video that is very hypnosis based. And so I love to do that. And so when I do it, I have to gauge. So if I feel really energetic, I will actually go, and if I have the time, I will go to bed early and take like an hour or two so I can actually maybe do a combination of what I just mentioned plus my SATS. So I feel like there's like a lot of wisdom in gauging yourself and what can you accomplish. And if you know you're going to crash, that's fine, right? We're human, seriously. But we can do something, and we can still be working to affect our subconscious mind and put more of what we want into it, feeding that subconscious. So if I'm exhausted, I'm going to go straight to a theta, delta self-hypnosis, and then just do my subliminal videos for the night. Because I know I'm not going to make it, but there's another half to this that's so important. I can't wait to share. So I'm hoping this will help you. So I do all that. I gauge my time. See if this doesn't work for you. I gauge my time and I realize where can I best use my energy. But what I want to do is not waste one night with putting something new into my subconscious by programming it the way I want my world, my assumptions, and my world to show up, my dream life, right? Y'all, that's what we're here for, right? So that's a really important nugget, I think. But also too, there's another half to this. So I'm sure many of you, I've seen it on different videos where people talking about that they're having issues drifting off while they're trying to do SATS. So here's the other half of that, and I'm going to break it down into different ways I use this. So when I feel myself drifting off, I don't always need to use this technique, but I will remind myself if I can, if I'm not too sleepy, to keep on going back. Whether I realize I just kind of drifted off so much that I never got through my SATS, drifted off, and then I realized, oh, I wanted to revise it. But what I like to do, especially based on that whole thing, like how much energy do you have, I like to set a timer on my phone. And so I realize that not everybody can do this, especially if you're not single, but I put my earbuds in, you know, depending on what your sleep situation is, I put my earbuds in, I set an alarm. And so I either do that for when I'm satsing in the evening, which I usually pick a better evening. But also, I must say, no matter what's going on, I like to set my alarm for like 3 or 3:30 in the morning. I don't know, pick an auspicious time for yourself. It just randomly worked out that way for me because I typically usually get up around 6:30, and I realized that if you have an alarm, so you can do it in the evening, and there's another part to this as well, but if you do it in the evening, but especially middle of the night, like 3 or early morning, right? You're still in that sleepy, super highly suggestible time, but now you're a little bit more rested. And if you keep hitting the snooze button, and you're hitting the snooze buttons, let's say for every 3 to 5 minutes, however you want to set it up, you can do this for like an hour, and that's what I do. If I feel myself drifting off, you know, by the time I've drifted off and oops, I couldn't stay quite on topic, I find that really helps to redirect me. It's a reminder, oops, that alarm. And I have something very pleasant music that comes on, and it just reminds me, oops, I want to go back. And it gives me like an hour to do my satsing, or like I said, by that time I feel a little bit more refreshed. And then, so you could do that in the evening, but then also too, what I like to do is when I am redirecting myself, and I've seen again and heard about, so tell me what you guys would like to talk about, but you know, on this topic, so people who have a difficulty drifting off, and I believe we all do, the more I love my SATS, the more refreshed or prepared I am, the more involved I get. And I personally like to do my SATS for a long period of time, if at all possible, or keep on bringing back, especially if it's a yummy, juicy, delicious creation I'm living out. if you want to stay there, right? It's your new reality. So, but I also realized too that so when you are setting that alarm, you can switch topics, you can shuffle. I think I've mentioned the shuffling before, that I keep index cards with my different little movies I'd like, my different SATs I want to go over so I don't miss any. I'm kind of staying regular unless I feel like it's saturated and it's already coming. And also too, so as an example, so some people have recommended, I've heard this before, I'm not saying it's wrong, I just found something that works for me, is that instead of trying to get better, beating myself up and trying to get better at sticking on topic, like not only did I mention the shuffle, I don't know if that works for everybody, it works for me. So hopefully it helps someone else out there as well. But also I like to go back to, as an example, if I want to practice on focusing better, I love the idea of counting money. I think it's wonderful. I think there's different audios about that for counting money. I love it. And the reason why I like it better than counting trees or tree leaves or blades of grass or going over my previous day, and I'm not saying those are wrong, but if our SATs and our focus of what we're trying to focus on is something that's going into our subconscious mind, I don't want to go back to the previous day, even if it was amazing. I mean, because I don't want to recreate it. I mean, maybe you do, but typically we're trying to create something new. So I pick a topic like counting money, because honestly, it takes a while to count like $100,000, $200,000. And I feel like that is something that everybody would enjoy, is creating more abundance in their world. So I feel like that is probably one of my most favorite ways to practice my focusing technique, because I feel like that topic is something that, bring it on. I love those Benjamins. I do. Who doesn't, right? Because we're here for results, and prosperity is in every area of your life. You want it for love. You want it for, the abundance of great friendships and support. You want it for great health, but also we want it for prosperity and creating the flow of cash flow, the flow of all kinds of different ways that prosperity and money or versions of money show up. We want that, right? So that's another tip. And so I wanted to leave those with you. Those are some things I have up my sleeve, and I'm going to add more about that. But I take this pretty seriously as far as my SATsing, and because I really wanted to make changes. I think I mentioned that before, and I feel like if you're going to take it pretty seriously, I mean, it's light in the sense that, yes, this is all a simulation. It's all a video game of a sort. It's a matrix. But I want to create the best version of my world and my life. And so I really seriously enjoy seeing how my creations and manifestations show up, especially since I've put a lot of effort into it. And I don't mean it's hard work, but I feel like it's the focus, right? And so I feel like the more we focus on something every day or every evening or 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, however much we can do, I feel that's all for our benefit. Because really, it's, to me, the way I looked at it when I first started this is that this is my part-time job, and it's not a job, but it's it's self-love, right? It's that I wanted to take care of myself to live the most beautiful life. And so therefore it's loving to spend as much time on my world and the new assumptions I'm creating and the new dream life. So that's basically everything I have to share about that for today. I hope that helps a bunch of you guys out there. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you're enjoying my material. Please comment and subscribe. And oh yes, one other little thing. I guess I had some misinformation as far as thinking that I might be able to go live with 50 subs. I don't think that's a thing. I think I came across something that said that, but really it looks like it's 1,000. So it's going to take to 1,000 people, 1,000 subs until I can go live. I think there's some apps you can use, but read a lot of different, community notes on that, and they could be a little glitchy. So I'm okay with that. I'm just very excited to visit with you all. But in the meantime, If you want to leave me comments and let me know what you would like me to go over. Don't feel ready to just jump in and start reading. I'm going to start just posting more topics that I hope are helpful for you during my time of transition. And so let me know. So I'm not sure where you are in the world today, what you're trying to manifest, but I do hope you're having the most amazing day. And until the next time, bye.